Okay. Let's get this. See this.
Sure.
Annie, will you start or would you like me to start?
You can start.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we've been recording all of this, Ado, so you might have. Are you going to stop and record again so the file is separate, or?
No, let's do it. Let's just keep. It's fine.
Okay, okay. You can cut it in there.
Hello.
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 Hello. Yeah. Let's wait a couple more moments. For the ones that join, please sign up to this link if you guys haven't already. It's the Lawagon website and the access to whatever our materials are that we'll be using today. Please sign in. And after that, I think you have to make accounts on other platforms too. So if you also haven't done that, please do. Okay. Yeah, how's everyone doing? Good. Can I get some reactions? How's everyone doing? I think Yann's been yeah, we talked a bit and he's very energetic and you guys are gonna have fun. So looking forward to it tonight. And yeah,
Yeah, you're overselling me, Ado. Now I need to live up to the expectation. Dang.
You
no,
will
I
be
think you're gonna live up to it. Yeah, easily. It's fine. This
easily.
is kind of lower gun. Like this is kind of lower gun. Yeah. Please feel free to introduce yourself again. But this is Yan from Wagon. I think it's Wagon's pretty popular already this time around. But feel free to share again
But
what you guys do.
it's the hottest boot camp, man.
Yeah, right. Do you have
No, I know
oh
exactly. Yeah,
Hottest boot
sure.
camp. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I'm actually
how do
gonna
oh
give
come on,
the
come on.
mic to Yan this time and just gonna shut it. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
sure. Are we all
Okay.
here already? Like, do you want me to introduce already?
Yeah, let's start. Let's start.
Cool. So yeah, you might have heard of us. I'm one of the teachers and members of the Wagon. We are in a coding bootcamp here in Tokyo. We've been starting uh, teaching coding a while ago, actually. I think we started in like 2000, it was before me, to 2015, 2016, something like that, or 2017, I guess. Well, a while ago, I would say. Uh, we've been teaching to quite a lot of people already. I do not have like any slides and any numbers, so I'm trying to pull them out of my head. But if I check our Slack in Tokyo, we are at. Are you ready for the number? 1,200 students or former students. So that's a lot of people. We've been teaching mostly web development, but we also started I would say a good 45 years ago to teach data science. And we are starting data analytics as well as a boot camp since I think like from this year, basically. So what are we doing exactly? Boot camps, obviously. So like sessions of like 9 weeks full time to 6 months part time, where we bring people from no level in coding, like really from every background that you can imagine. I remember a student that started off a career of cook, as well as construction workers, factory workers, and so on and so forth. So really, like any level in programming, or no level at all. Two, we bring them to the level of junior web developer, junior data scientist, and junior data analysts, basically. So our goal at the bootcamp is to give this one spark to these people so that they can get their first job as again, web developer, data analyst, data scientist, and they can like kickstart their career. So that's what we do in Tokyo and in something like 40 other cities all over the world. And yeah, trying to change people's career and people's life one bootcamp at a time.
Yeah.
That good for an intro? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Whoa. So maybe I should intro as well the workshop of tonight. Does that work for you? Shall we give it a
Yeah.
start?
Yeah. Sure.
Sweet. I see one or two chats already. So much community. Indeed, we're quite big. We're getting bigger and bigger. We have a lot of events as well. A lot of workshop that we're doing every week. So do not hesitate to like check out our website, our platforms, meetup, and come to our events. Uh, we have demo days that show up a bit what all our students are doing as well. Come, you know, you're very welcome. We have pizza and drinks as well. Cool. Being said, told you that I'm talking a lot. Let's jump on the most important part for tonight, the workshop. So I prepared for you, you know, a cool workshop. But I do believe I was like thinking a lot what I could like share with you in your like adventure, in your challenge of like going throughout like the job, like what's what is the job of a product manager, as well as a like someone that is creating a new product, that is building a new startup. And what I decided tonight to show off for you, or to like to teach you, was rather than like going for very very technical things, going for something that you could really in this role of product manager or creator of a product or of a startup, like use in order to build a website, even a quite complex website, with mostly no code tools that could like make you like have this capability of creating websites in really like an hour and 20 minutes or something like this. So this, I hope that the knowledge that I'm going to share today during this workshop, so an hour, 20 minutes roughly, will make you able to build whatever website that you want, at least like POC, MVP, a small start of a website to help to fulfill your needs in terms of startups, product management, as well as like creating your first product. Right, so that's really what I'm trying to do. I do know that you've been doing a product design camp and a workshop last week, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's amazing. You'll be able to get this like prototype of a website that you've been building during this workshop, and to bring it to the next level, to make it alive as a website posted on the internet that you can share later on with whoever you want.
I'll just ignore that. Sorry if something popped up on the screen. I'm just trying to set up the breakout rooms.
Oh, gotcha. No, I'm totally fine, totally fine. So I see two more chats. Gonna check it out and then share my screen. Okay, all fine. Perfect. So when I share my screen, I think it's kind of harder for me to see what is popping up on the chat. So do not hesitate to shout as well if you have any question, or if you want to me to look at the chat, just let me know. Very sweet. Cool. So tonight, as I told you, as promised, we're gonna talk about no code, and we're gonna use non-technical people, right, that haven't done a Wagon bootcamp just yet, right, that are here to focus on our core business, which is building a product, how we can actually make a website to back up our products and to share our product, as well as actually to sell our product. Because tonight we're going to go as far as building a small e-commerce platform, right, on our like by ourselves without any code. That's the no code idea. Very sweet. So as I said, no code is a super cool concept that brings like technical capabilities, building a website, for example, to anyone that doesn't have any technical skills. Now, that being said, no code doesn't mean no code, if you know what I mean. So obviously, all the no-code platform and no-code tools that we're going to use today are full of code, and quite complex code, right? So I would say that the concept and the philosophy of like this no-code idea here is really to actually use platform, use system, use tools that have been built for you in order to go further and actually create websites. And we're not going to use just one no-code tool today. We're going to use three, and you'll see that there's many other like tools that the one we are presenting tonight that we're going to be able to use. The idea being that every time you need a new feature on your website, every time that you're thinking of adding like something a bit complex to your website, you'll go search for the one tool, the no-code tool that will make you able to like build this feature, add this special like part to your website. Sweet. So as I said, no code doesn't mean no code at all. It's really other people's code. We're going to use a lot of external tool. And the cool thing about this tool is that there's no technical skills involved to this tool, not so much actually. And they're also very user-friendly. So you'll see that we'll be able like in 1 hour and a half to like get used to these two, understand what everything is going on those tools. Okay, so you'll be like, yeah, you're working at a coding bootcamp, and what you're telling us here is that we don't really need code. Are you okay with that? Like, are you planning to just like jeopardize your whole bootcamp by showing us like tool that make us make website without having to use any code? Obviously not, right? The idea of no code is that it's giving non-technical people like abilities to build web applications, but it also has its own limitations, right? So you can do fairly complex websites with no code tools, right? But if you want to do something that is, much more complex, something that involves, I don't know, for example, like video streaming or like this kind of more complex, feature on the website, is going to be quite hard and harder to, to be done on Slack, sorry, on, on a no-code tool, right? Um, um, and yeah, there's a bunch of limitations. Another limitation, and you'll see it during this workshop, is that nothing is free. Obviously, for every no-code tool that has been built for you to use to build a website or to build a feature of the website, obviously, the people that build this tool are here to earn money as well. And most of the time, we're going to be able to use a free plan to try out those tools. But very soon, we're going to get into the limits of this free plan, and you'll have to obviously pay for this no-code solutions. So today, during the bootcamp, I'll try to the workshop. Sorry, I'll try to share with you and to use as much as possible free tools of the free features of every tool. I'm going to also share with you all the limitation of those tools and how much it costs if you want to go for more professional feature of those tools. Right? Now, one more thing for the developer out there, the no-code tools are also for us developer to use. And to be honest, in my freelance time, as a developer, so not teacher at the Wagon, but really freelancing, building websites out of the Wagon, I'm using a lot of no-code or low-code tool. So first, as a developer, I can use my problem-solving mindset in those tools, right? It's still very useful. And actually, I'm having sometimes a very hard time to try to figure out to balance, the cost of a low-code or no-code tool and the capability that I want to implement in those tools. And those tools are very interesting for me as a developer because when I develop a no-code or a low-code tool, right, let's say a WordPress, for example, I'm able to make my client, the person that will own the website after I have built it, to actually change and maintain the tool, which is not necessarily possible for a website that I would have created with Next.js or like really from scratch. So yeah, all these specs needs to be taken into account when you are working on a no code or low code tool. So I've talked a lot about low code low-code tools, and one of the most popular low-code tool is actually WordPress. And this new no-code way of thinking is kind of like the next step. It's kind of what's replaced those like WordPress style tools. So you might have heard of WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, and so on and so forth. All those tools are called low-code, and they're also called CMSs, Content Management System. So the idea of these tools is that they're not necessarily done for non-developers only. It's rather a tool, as I told you, that is set up and put in place by a developer, just like myself, but that enables non-developers, non-technical people to add content, change the content, maintain the tool, and so on and so forth. Right? So WordPress and those kind of tool is already really, really cool for non-technical people to be able to update websites. But it's even the no-code tools, sorry, are even one step further, and they are giving full power for non-technical people to actually build websites. And tonight, as a no-code tool that we're going to use to build a website, we have Webflow. So we're going to build a website tonight with Webflow, and we're going to use two more tools to actually create some more powerful features to Webflow. So Webflow is the very first tool that we are going to use. And to use it, we're going to basically enter the Webflow website. So you can go to webflow.com here. When you enter the website, in my case, I'm already connected, right? So if they are sending me directly to my dashboard. In your case, they might ask you to sign up if it's not done yet. And as you can see, after the sign up, you'll be able to see your dashboard with some new website that you might have built or not, depending on like if you've used the tool already. So while we're at that stage, let's have a look at a little bit at the website, at the dashboard especially, and especially at the different plans that Webflow is suggesting us. So in terms of plans, we have a free plan. And that's very cool. That's the reason why I use Webflow today for this presentation. The free plan is quite enough for me to show off a bit the tool. So you can see that this free plan is a bit limited, really. It's limited to 2 websites that we can build. So I already have one. Fortunately, I'll be able to create a new one for this workshop. And each website will have 2 static pages, which is super, super limiting, right? So we'll see what that means, especially when we're going to build our website. Now, as you can see, the next plan is like $19 per month, $28 if you choose to pay monthly, right? This one is billed yearly. And it already gives you access to much more capabilities, 10 websites, tons of pages per website, and so on and so forth. So really, this kind of pricing is very typical of no-code tools, right? A freemium, right, with a base price, a base plan, a free plan that is very, very limited. Another no-code tool that looks like Webflow very much is Wix. You might have heard of Wix here. I opened it so that we can see how it is inside. Wix is the same thing, really. I think the free plan is slightly bigger, right? But once again, when you want to go more professional, to build, for example, to have your website on your own domain, you'll have to pay as well for Wix. And I think the plan might be slightly more expensive, right? So unfortunately, all these tools have a quite limited free plan here. Sweet. We're going to use this free plan though. We're going to get back to the dashboard and we are going to create our new website. As you can see, the first thing they tell us is, hey, do you want to build a blank website, a template, or to see the tutorial? What I suggest you really is when you build a new website to look at what templates they have. They have really, really cool templates, as you can see, that you can use. That's a very nice way to kickstart a website. Hopefully, yes, some of them are free, as you can see. Now, some others from there are not. It's really helpful to have a base to work on and change little by little. That being said, what I will personally do is not go for a template, but rather create a blank website so that we can learn more out of this tool and see everything that we can do on that tool. So let's go for it. Yann's stunning website. Okay, I can go with that. Sounds good. Let's go for it. Let's create a website. Super sweet. So we're building a website here, and obviously, like I'll need an idea of website to build. So if you're okay with that, I'm gonna try to actually do a copycat of the Wagon websites. And to do so, I'm gonna go to wagon.com and I'm going to select our bootcamp in Tokyo. So this is what we have on the wagon.com website, and I'm going to try to mimic a little bit, but in a simpler way, I would say, this web page here on Webflow. So I'm going to try to build like this kind of website directly on Webflow. Sweet. To do so, I'm going to click on the plus sign that I have here, where I can add element to my page. And as you can see, there's a lot of different elements that oopsie, sorry, that was a misclick. There you go. Very sweet. Gonna get back to my here. Okay, so clicking on plus, we have a lot of elements here that we can just drag and drop onto our website. There's two big types of elements. The first one is are elements like headers, paragraph, text, and so on and so forth. That is literally adding content to your website, right? So contents here. For example, for this header here, we'll be writing the same, H1 heading title of the Wagon page, right? Okay. I'm going to also add, I think, a little paragraph. As you can see, we can add paragraphs here that will correspond to the text that I have here. Right? So let's keep it non-bold. Right? Paragraph. I also have like a picture in the back. So I'm gonna like search for let's go for a search element here for an image, right? That I can add just here. And for the image, I'm gonna replace it to basically the image that we have here that I saved already on my computer. So where is it? This one. I can drag and drop it. Amazing. Okay, and I should be able now. Oh, didn't work out. Let's select the image once again. Okay, I should be able now to see the image, right? So a bunch of elements here that enable us to put some content on our website. Now, as you can see, like all the content so far is one below each other. So there's another like set of elements in my elements library here that will actually deal with the structure of my page. So you see, you have a bunch of elements here structured. Those elements, just like the container, if I drag and drop them inside my website, they're not doing much, right? The website didn't change much, but they're gonna give actually structure to my page. So as you can see, my container here is on the top. If I take my heading and drag and drop it into my container, I'm trying to add it to my container here. It's kind of hard. So if you have some troubles to drag and drop as I have here, what you can do is click on this navigator button here. The navigator button, which looks very much like Figma. You see, like all the interface is looking like Figma, so you're not gonna feel too lost. In this navigator, you'll see all the elements we have on the page. So all the elements so far are in the body. I have my container here. If I want to put my H1 into my container, I'm going to take it and drag it inside my container. I'm going to do the same with my paragraph as well as my image. And now, if I look at my page again, right, I'm going to like make it for a slightly larger device here. if I look at my page again, I can see that all my content is within a container that is not a visible element, but that is like putting this space left and right to every content that it contains, right? I have my container here, and as you can see, everything that is inside my container has some spacing left, right? So this is the second type of element that we can put on our website. It's more structuring elements. We have container, quick stack here, and so on and so forth. And also that I really like is called columns, right? I'm searching for columns here. We're going to use the columns on our website. I'm going to put the columns here, and you can see that I can choose like what the layout of my columns will look like. I want a 50-50. That sounds very good. And I am going to take my columns here. I'm going to take my heading and my paragraph, put them into the first column if they want to. Go to your first column. There you go, right? This one as well. And I'm going to put the image in the second column. There you go, right? So that I have my text and my image side by side. It is not exactly what we have here, obviously, but to make it a little bit faster, I'm going to keep it as it is here. Right? Very cool. One thing that I can maybe do here is to change a little bit the my image height so that it's actually taking the whole height of my page. I think I can do that with a height. As you can see here, we can like kind of like navigate in when you click on the image to the parent elements of the image. So my image here is inside. So I'm going to do it again. I click on the image, click on the word image here. The image is inside a column that is itself inside the two columns here. I'm going to go into my first column, and I believe that if I give a height to this first column somewhere, or if I tell this column to take the whole height, it should do the trick and let my image take the whole size. There you go. Let's give it a try. Looks like it doesn't want to. I have to check that into more details. I'm gonna keep it like this, right? So that we can like move on into the use of the Webflow app. You might know if you have done especially Figma that like switching the style of a page is what takes the most of time. So I want to focus more on that, on more interesting for us part of the Webflow than styling my image. Okay, very sweet. So far, so good. We have a page, right, that is built. So there is a button on the top left here that is the preview of a page. If you click on it, you see what the page looks like on the internet, really. And on the top of that, on the top right corner this time, in here, you have a publish button that we're going to try to click together right away. Publish. You see that they're giving me by default a URL here. To have a custom URL, you'll have to upgrade to the next plan. So I'm going to publish this selected domain. You see that it's preparing everything, and already, now if I click on this arrow here, I can see and find my website built a web page, a URL that I can like share with everyone. So the website is already there, built for us, right? Already like production ready here. So it's going to be like we're going to be able to share these websites with whoever we want on the internet. Very sweet. Okay, so that is the very first part. So we talked about like Webflow, how to build a Webflow, right? Don't forget that you have available a lot of templates if you don't want to have a hard time, just like I did, like building the CSS of every single part of your page. Do not hesitate to go for a template, right? We talked about the fact that the idea is really drag and dropping elements into your page. elements that are of two types, the layout parts, the layout elements, right? Container, grid, and so on and so forth. We're going to use a bit more of them today, as well as the contents elements that are really here to hold the content. So headers for titles, text, image, links, and so on and so forth, right? So we're going to go into the next step of building part of our website. Next step that is called components, right? But before that, I'm going to have a quick look at the chat to make sure that you don't have any questions or anything about what we talked about so far. Another option too is Framer. Absolutely, yes, yes, yes. It's well connected to the design as well. I know that's has some nice connection with Figma. Studio, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Very nice. Yeah, all these tools actually I have a last slide or a slide somewhere in my presentation that's send you a link to a website that is kind of like, you know, putting all these tools together and giving you a description of if each of the tools of the no-code tool that you can use. There are very many on the internet. Absolutely. How do you pick from all these tools? That's a very good question. So the every tool has a different you know I would say angle, right? The nice like the angle of Webflow, I think, is to be um, very much into customization of the page. There's a lot of customization options for the design of the page. Something that looks very, very much like Figma as well. I think they really went for that. If you take Wix, for example, you see that the custo is slightly more like it's different, right? It's like you feel that a lot of the elements of Wix are built for you, right? Like they feel a bit less customizable. Like this is a full contact form, I guess, that you're just drag and dropping in the page and so on and so forth. So yeah, the angle is slightly different. Wix is more here to build very fast a website that look okay, and very okay, actually. They're doing great stuff, I think, rather than like Webflow that is here for you for someone that is slightly more technical or maybe like wants something more customized to build their own set of design. So I would say that's kind of um, the trade-off between those two tools, and every tool has a different you know like has pros and cons really. So it's all about like searching for the tool that makes the most of sense for you, I think. All these tools also have a different pricing plan, and that is also something that you should take into account, obviously. Sweet. Very good point. Very good points. So this is our tool so far. You know what? I am going to give it one or two things. I don't feel like very happy about my image so far as well. I'm gonna give it some borders. I like borders inside around my images. Yeah, that looks pretty neat. Also, I would like my image to you know like kind of like get pop out of the top of my page here. So what I can do maybe is to click on image and go to like the column that is like containing my image and give some padding to my to this column, right? So padding to a certain element, if you remember, if you've been doing some CSS already, is putting some space between the like the border of the element that we are selecting and whatever this element contains. So if I put like 16 pixels of padding all around my like my column, as you can see here. Now there's a space of 16 pixels that is showing up all around between the border of the column and the image itself. Right, that's what's one style that we can go for. Also gonna like add some buttons I think I had some, see these buttons here? Some nice buttons in my like original the Wagon website. Where was it? In here. For these buttons, as you can see, the color that we were using is pretty neat. I'm gonna catch this color thanks to a tool that I really like that is called a color picker, and the color picker I'm using is called ColorZilla. So as you can see, it's a Chrome extension here. It's called ColorZilla in here, Chrome extension. I do think that there is the same extension for Firefox as well. And that enables me to go to a website, use this color picker, pick color from page, and to pick this one color, the Wagon website. After picking this color, I can go back to my webflow, click on my button, and in the style, scroll down, say it's very similar to Figma, and change the style of my button to something that is a little bit more the Wagon style. I'm going to put a bit of border as well, maybe another 16%. That's a bit too much. I'm going to go for 8%, 8 pixels, sorry, for the border radius to have a bit of radius around my border here. Looks like it didn't check my color. There you go. Very neat. That looks very much closer to what we have here. The text is contact an advisor. Okay, that looks very legit. If I press the publish button once again, right, or if I preview, really, you'll see that instantaneously, if I go to my website and refresh it, the changes will show up. And I like that a little bit more than before. Very sweet. So we built one page on our website, and actually every single page of the website are showed in the page section here, right? On the sidebar. If I click on the pages, you see that we have one static page. As I told you, the free plan of Webflow is just letting us having two static pages, but you'll see that we'll be able to build other pages, like collection pages especially. I'm going to show you all of this. Now, once again, if you want to go for more than 2 static pages on your website, you'll have to go for a better plan. So here, there's a create new page button that I'm going to click. We're going to create a new page. And we are going to call it contact. That will be our contact form page. Creating it. And in this page, I'm not going to go too far. I'm going to first see that they are telling us that they are giving us some pre-built layouts here. Once again, looks like the template feature that we had at the beginning. But what we're going to do is something a little bit more simple. I'm going to add an element, a container, right? And in this container, the container here, I'm going to click on plus again, and I'm going to add really simply a heading. So an H1 that will be something like contact, right? Or contact us. Okay, very neat. If I click on preview, I can see my contact page. And one thing I didn't show you maybe is that when we created this page, I'm gonna actually click on the setting here so that we have a look at it. When I created this page, I defined the page name, which is contact, and I defined the slug as well. So slug is a weird name in web development. It's a slimy, weird name, but it designates basically, this part of the URL that corresponds to a certain page of your website. So if your website is like a blah blah blah.com, every page is like /about /contact /something, and this something is what we call the slug. So that if I go to my the website that I published, if I go to my website /contact, I can now, did I publish it? Let's have a look. Let's make sure it's published. Right, need to publish the latest version. Sweet. If I refresh my page now, I have access to contact. Right, so my contact us is here. I'm super happy about it. What sucks is that I don't have a way to get back to my homepage. Fortunately, Webflow get your back, if we look for an element that is called navbar, I'll be able to find a navbar, simple navbar, but efficient, that I can put on my contact page here, right? Quite simple. A navbar that has already 3 buttons. I don't have an about page. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I have a home page. If I click on the here on the setting button of the home page, I'll be able to change its URL. So instead of having a URL, I'm gonna go for page, and I'm gonna make this home button connect to my home page, right? Closing that, if I preview what I have here now, on my contactors page, if I click on home, I'm getting sent to my home page, and that's working pretty neatly, right? If I really click on preview here, it's getting myself onto the preview for some reason, and I can get back to editing my contact page in here. Okay, very nice. I have now a navbar. I built it. The home page is sending to home. I can make the contacts button here. If I click on, again, the settings to send to my contact page, the page where we are here. Now, obviously, this, this navbar here, I want it to be on the contact us page, but I also want it to be on my home page, right? And so far, I don't have anything on my homepage in terms of navbar. So what I could do is to just add, a new navbar, right, on my homepage, and I would have to, reset the home button and the contact button so that they send, that they are linked with the 2 different pages that we are using, and so on and so forth. So doing the same exact job that we've been doing for contact. But that fact, as you can imagine, kind of suck, right? Like, you don't want to be repeating, doing over and over and over again the same things, right? When you build an element of your webflow websites, you want to be able to reuse it somewhere else, like build it once and for all and reuse it somewhere else if it is needed somewhere else, just like a navbar that is supposed to be on every single page. So we need one more concept to our webflow here to be able to reuse some of the design of a page. Now, I have a question for you, right? You are Figma professional now, definitely, and you do know in Figma how to create an element of a page that you can use and reuse on different frame, on different page of your prototype. Can you tell me what is the concept in Figma that you're using to do that? Can someone help me out? You can shout it. Oh, I see the chat. Let me check. Components. Absolutely, Alex, you're absolutely right. Do you all remember about components? Yeah, well, you'll be super happy because as I told you, Webflow and Figma are very similar in many ways. And Webflow also has the idea of reusable components. So back in the days when we, not so back in the days actually, before they revamped a bit their website, they were calling them symbols, but now they're definitely called components, and the components button in your sidebar is here, components. So with components, we can do exactly what you expect to do. We can, for example, select our navbar. Where is my navbar? This is my navbar, right? Go to the component section. And on the top right here, top right corner, I'm going to click on create components. I'm going to call it navbar, not very original, I know. I create. And the moment you do that, this navbar here becomes a component, right? So I have it on my contact us. We said that we wanted to add it to our homepage as well. I'm going to go to the home. I'm going to click on my components, and now you see that I have one instance of navbar, and I'm going to drag and drop it here on the top of my container. I don't need to be in the container, so I'm going to use the navigator to drag and drop it just above the container, right? I want the navbar to take the whole width of my page. Now we have our navbar. If I preview and I click on contact, sending me to my contact, home, sending me to my home. So it's a real component, right? It's the same components on each of these pages. If I change it on the home page, for example, I think on this navbar, what do we have in the navbar? If I double click on the navbar, I'm entering the component itself, not really inside the home anymore. I'm really in the components. You see the navigator that's like the component. So I have a brand element in the navbar, which corresponds to where the brand logo should be. In here, what I'm going to do is to add an image. This image, I'm gonna select one image I have on my machine, the Wagon logo that I took actually today from the Wagon website we're trying to build. Very sweet. Now you can see that I didn't save. Bravo, Yann. Doing it again, selecting this logo, right? And you see, or you don't see actually that it's here. So a weird thing with this navbar in Webflow, I'm not sure why they did that, the image, the style of the brand, the style of the image inside the brand has no width and no height. So I'm gonna have to actually give a price to my logo. Let's go for 80 pixels, see how that looks like. Okay, it's not too bad. Maybe a 64 here. Once again, the style is not very great, but it's not. I don't want to spend too much time on the style. Though my navbar is gray. I'm not really into this color. It's not a Wagon color. I want my navbar to be back to something more white, like this. Perfect. And I'm gonna give a bit of I think shadow that I could find somewhere. Where exactly? Backdrop filter, box shadow plus, okay. Cool shadow here. I'm gonna add a little bit more of white. See that the shadow is showing up here. A bit more of blur to have a more subtle shadow. And okay, that's my shadow. I'm not very happy with this shadow, but it's not too bad. Now the background, I didn't make it white. I put the color white. I didn't necessarily want to do. But okay, that's what we have. It's not too bad. Could be better, definitely. But yeah, that's so far. I think it's quite good here. All right, sweet, sweet, sweet. So I have a bunch of functionalities here that I wanted to show you that are in place. There is maybe like one last functionality that I want to share with you using really just Webflow before we actually connect, before we have a good break first, right? And then we connect with the other tools. This last functionality is what we called the CMS collection. So remember, CMS is like content management service. So here, the idea is that we'll be able to, kind of add spreadsheets of data of content into our website, and we'll be able to display it. Let me show you what I mean by that. At Wagon, especially in Tokyo, we have 3 courses. If I go to our courses, as I told you, we have web development, data science and AI, and data analytics, right? And I would like to be able to, so first have those 3 cards, right, on my website, and to have, like, for each of these three data, right, these 3 pieces of data, have a detailed page, like a one pager for each of these courses, explaining, well, what the course is about, like what's the curriculum, and so on and so forth. There's a super nice way to do that with Webflow using CMS. So the CMS feature of Webflow is here on the top right or top left corner, this kind of database icon here. So we're going to click on it. And we are going to add a new collection with the plus button. Oh, here, create a collection. Sorry. Create a collection. Why don't you want me to create a collection? Let's try again. And reopen the CMS here. No collection. I know. Let's create one. Oh, okay. It took a it took a while. I think now they hate me because I clicked too many times. Okay, it works. It works. First thing I want for my collection is a collection name. So I'm gonna call my collection courses, right? And you see that I have also a URL that is connected to this collection, right? We'll see where this URL goes later on. And here I can add some fields to my collection. So my course will have a name, definitely, a slug as well. Remember, that's the part of the URL that will correspond to this, like, web development course and so on and so forth. Also, we'll have some customized fields. One will be a small description. So for the description, I'm going to go for a rich text, right? I'm going to call it description. That's pretty neat. I'm going to also add a picture, right? I'm going to call it I don't know, main picture, I guess, for this course, right? And I'm going to save it like this as well. Very sweet. So I have my collection that is getting built here. I'm pretty happy of like what's inside. I'm going to create my collection. As you can see, when you create a collection, they suggest you to have some sample data directly in your collection so that you can like play with it. In our case, we're not gonna like get them sample data. We're gonna create our own items in this collection. And what I want to create is our 3 courses. So I'm gonna do a quick view of like what we have. Okay, that's fair enough. So we have a first one, which is web development. Okay, and build modern. I'm gonna try to select this text. Which is the hardest part of this of this uh, workshop, selecting the text on the Wagon website. And for the image, I'm gonna save those 3 images as well, right? One uh, here. I didn't test out the saving of the image. It looks like they don't like us to take the images. So uh, just for a matter of time, I'm gonna keep it as it is. And we are going to create our first item. So I don't know exactly why, but I feel that my the website is not very responsive. Try to refresh my page here. Okay. It's definitely something wrong with not sure if it's my it's the website itself or uh, my computer. Gonna quit gather. I don't know if that will change anything. Okay, that's better. Still searching for the creation button. Okay, I'm gonna copy paste what we got before. Let's go to so back to Tokyo. I think it's definitely my I haven't seen that in a while. It's Brave here that doesn't react very well for some reason. As if I had a memory leak or something. half a second. Okay, it looks like it's always getting better. Might be a Figma thing. Figma, come on. There we go. Doing this copy paste. Okay. Do you have the button somewhere? Maybe by just clicking, pressing enter or something. Okay, I think that pressing enter did the job, but I definitely I'm missing like part of the screen here. Oh, it's because I was zooming in. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, creating those three courses a bit more faster than before. We also have, look at that. Yeah, it's definitely have some memory troubles. So we have data science. Very good. Whoops. Create it as well. You see that when I create it, I have a two option. I'm gonna create one more, and you'll see the two different options. Um, cool. Let's create one more course, which is data analytics. Very sweet. And I'm gonna steal this text for the description and create it. So yeah, save to draft is just gonna save it and it's not gonna show on your website, whereas queue to publish makes it ready for publication on the website. It's saved, it's usable, and the moment you click on publish, this item is gonna show. So we have our three courses in our courses collection. I'm gonna get back from the CMS to the design part of the website. And I'm going to try to put them the different courses in here in the main page of our website. So to do so, first, maybe I'm going to add a header like this. This time is going to be not the main H1, but an H2. Remember that we just want one H1 per page on our website, right? I'm going to stick this H2 inside my container. Very sweet. And I'm going to call it our courses. And below my H1, I'm going to add a new element that is very special. It's a list, but it's a collection list. You see that it's purple here. It's connected to my CMS so that if I add it, they tell me, oh, you can actually connect it to one of your collections. I'm going to connect it to my courses, right? And on the top of that, inside, if I click on this first data analytics course here, inside one of the items of this collection, I'll be able to tell what an item looks like. So for this item, I will want to have first a header, right? Maybe heading 3 here. You see that the text here is heading. What I will want to do is to use this little plus button here on the side of the input, the input here, and I will select. I'm going to connect this heading to the data of the course, and I will say that for each of the item, the heading should be the name of the course. But I click on name, and as you can see, now I can see data analytics, data science. I do not see web development. I think it's because we didn't publish it. So I'm going to go to the components, to the CMS very fast. Yeah, see, it's still in a draft mode. So I'm going to save and queue to publish so that if I come back to my design, I can actually see web development, right? Below the H3, I'm going to put some rich text here. And same idea, I'm going to connect it to the description this time of each of my elements so that I have the rich text showing up for each of my courses here, right? So my collection here, I'm going to actually bring it to inside my container, right? I have the container here. I'm going to bring the collection inside the container, not on the top, so that it's actually showing up with the spacing left and right on my page. All right. Last thing I want to show you about this collection before we have break is that now, if you click on the pages icon here, you'll see that we have home contact, but also course templates. And course templates is basically referencing to every single detailed page of my 3 courses. So once again here, I'll be able to add a heading, right? I'm going to use the same plus button to say that the name of the page will be basically like the name of each of my courses, right? And I'm going to add, for example, a rich text just here, right? And same thing, I'm going to say that the rich text should contain my description. Very sweet. Now, obviously, the last thing that we need is to connect that page to my home page. And to do so, we're going to use the same technique as what we did for those 2 buttons here, or a similar technique, I would say. I'm going to add an element which is a link, right? A link block. And this link block, I'm going to add it to each of my collection items. And you know what? I'm going to put the data analytics title into this link so that when we click on data analytics, it's going to actually send us to each of the page. And this link, if I select it, link block, I can set it up to open you see, collection page here. And I can tell what collection it should open. It should open the collection of the current course, data analytics. There you go. Closing all this, I'm going to save my page. Well, I'm going to publish it, basically, republish it. And now, if I go to my published website that has an navbar, if I go to the home page and I click on data analytics, for example, or data science, it's going to send me to the course data science, the slug, the page that corresponds to the details information about my page data science. Here we are. So we could put a link button here to get back to here, or even better, we could just go to this course templates and add a navbar, right? And we publish it. So that now, if I refresh my page, I can go to data analytics, as a navbar, can get back to home, web development, and back to home, and so on and so forth. So the website is starting to take a nice shape. You can imagine that with some more styling here, you'll be able to do something that is quite complex in a very short amount of time. Sweet. I'm going to have a look at the chat, answer your questions, and then I suggest us that we take a small break. Everyone, if this is too fast, feel free to comment and let Yann know. Absolutely. As well as all the things that I'm talking about right now, together with all the information, all the slides I'm using, and so on and so forth, and even a video of this course here is on our platform that I didn't introduce. I should have done that. Right, everything is going to be there. I promise that anything I'm talking about today will be available later on somewhere on our platform. It's like stacking Lego. You're absolutely right. Do you still use this sort of tool to build a Wagon website, even though you have many engineers? No, that's a good point. We're not using Webflow for the Wagon website now. As a freelancer, right? When I work with people that are telling me like, yeah, we want to be able to, after you build the base website, the base of our website, we want to be able to understand like how to maintain it, how to change it. With those kind of clients, I am using Webflow or WordPress or these kind of tools so that I can give them the button and they can maintain their website. So it is used by actual like web developers. Is there a way to change the layout so that it looks different on mobile, tablets, etc.? Absolutely. I didn't talk about it, but I do think, oh yeah, see, you have a desktop here. You can like check what your design looks like for any kind of design. The the elements that they are giving you here are also like quite responsive. Uh, the one that you get in the templates are quite responsive as well. So it's quite well done. And for every element, if you select a container, for example, you have somewhere, I think maybe don't remember where it is exactly, somewhere where uh, they tell you like well, I think it's big when you actually change in here. Um, somewhere to tell like what kind of design, customized design you want for like this device size and so on and so forth. So it does exist. Is there a preferred no-code tool platform for developer in particular? It's a very, very good question. Uh, once again, it depends on the case. So if you're talking about developer without a client that want to maintain later on, I would not go for a no-code tool for these developers, right? They would build like their website with real code. It's cheaper, more scalable, more customizable, and so on and so forth. When you're connected to clients, it really depends on what they want to do. If they just want to change the contents, also how much they want to pay for the maintenance of the website. Uh, WordPress is good for like if they just want to change the contents, I believe. Now it has its own set of like challenges and additional costs. Yeah, it's a good question. That is quite complex to answer. I think it's really a trade-off. Sweet. Very good question you have. Don't hesitate to have more. Let's have a break. How long do you take off a break usually?
Um,
5 minutes, okay?
is this, yeah, probably 5 minutes because you're planning on wrapping about 9, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think 5 minutes should be good.
Good,
Okay.
good, good.
Thank you
Okay, we're
guys.
back in five.
Thank you.
That's what, 13, right?
Yes.
Let's meet again at 13.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
In a table, we would like to have like the data about the courses somewhere like stored basically inside our Yann stunning data. So for the courses, what I'm going to do is to add actually a new table, right, from scratch, and I'm going to call it courses, right? In there, I'm going to keep the name, going to remove the status, notes, and signee. And for the name of each of my courses, I'm going to get back the name that I had in Webflow. So the first one was web development. The second one was data science. And the last one was data analytics. Very sweet. Okay. So now I have one place in my data where I have all the courses, and I can, imagine that at the Wagon we have a new course, we can add it very, very easily. And we have one place here with all the students, let's say that's like register for our courses here, right? So since we don't have any students so far, I'm going to add one or two students in here. So in the room, I see that there is Alex, so we're going to add Alex with his email, which is definitely alex@alex.com, right? I see as well Chanisara. So Chanisara, I'm going to add, let's put some capital letters to anyone. Chanisara. And your email is definitely chanisara@chanisara.com. Perfect. So you two are doing some courses. I know that Alex is doing the web development. Chanisara is signed up for the data science. Now, obviously, in courses here, the idea would not be to write every single tab, web dev, web development, or data analytics, right? Here for the courses, what we would like to do is actually connect to our other tab table here that is holding all the courses. So that when we have one more course, we'll be able to select it for the student without having to, add it here, add it there, or like removing one course here and removing it from all the students that are there. So what we would like to do here is to connect actually our students table to our courses table. And for people that have been working with databases, it's something that we do a lot, right? We call it foreign keys. It's a connection. It's a basically one column of our student spreadsheet that will correspond to one element of our courses spreadsheet here. So how does that work exactly in Airtable? Well, for the course, what I'm going to do is edit the field and actually change the data type of my field. Instead of having a single line, right, just some text, what I'm going to do is to link this course column here to another record, to another table. I click to another record. I'm going to connect it to the courses, and I'm going to save it. I don't want to have why not, actually? A student can do like several courses, right? I'm going to save that. Right? And here they're telling me like, hey, what is the data from the courses that you would like to see on the column course? I can select the name so that if I add these fields now, right? If I select a course here, I'll be able to select web development, for example, and I'll be able to see the name web development in here as well. So this column is kind of an additional column compared to this one, right? I think it's needed if you want to like have access to easily to the name of the course from like Alex data, basically. Now, for the use of this workshop, we're not going to go that far. So the idea here is, as you can see, that I can connect at least each of my students to a certain course. Very sweet. So I have a quite complex and well-done data in my Airtable. Now it's time for us to connect this data to actually our website webflow. So what we're going to do in order to connect them, we're going to go back to Webflow. And what we're going to do is that in our contact page here, we're going to create a contact form, right? That will make everyone that's like send us their information in the contact form being saved here on Airtable. So to do so, first thing I'll need is a form. And actually Webflow is helping us a lot for that. If I search for form here, see that I have a form block. And if I bring it here, and I actually bring it inside the container once again, you see that the basic form of Webflow has a name, an address, and a submit button. It's exactly what I need for my new students. So I'm gonna keep it like this. And if I press preview right now and try to write my name and my email and submit, they're telling me like, okay, the form is there, but first off, it doesn't work just yet in preview mode, and it's not connected to anything just yet, right? So even if we publish the website and try our form, let's open it, you'll see that this submit button here tell me like, hey, you've been submitted correctly, but nothing really much happened from that. Nothing happens because so far, sorry, should close my mailbox here. So far, nothing is connected to this contact form, right? So we'll have to make sure that this contact form is actually connected to our new service, our new external tool that we're using, which is Airtable. Alrighty. So how to do that? So the idea will be to first off to go to Airtable and do some setup for us. So on Airtable, there is a way to connect Airtable to a lot of different tools by using the automation button that you have here on the top. The automation button is basically a way for us to create a kind of a flow that will do from a trigger, from something special that happens, a change inside the data of our Airtable, right? So really the idea would be that when we press submit on our contact form, when the contact form sends a message to Airtable, Airtables from this trigger of like a message that has been received will take the name and the email of that new person and save it in our data. So let's create our first trigger together to create this kind of pipeline between Webflow and Airtable. And it's really going from Webflow to Airtable. So the trigger is something that happens at Webflow site. I'm going to click on add a trigger here. And what we're going to select is when webhook receives. So what you need to know is that Airtable is going to be waiting and waiting and waiting for Webflow to send data to it. And Webflow is going to send data to Airtable only when a user is going to press the submit button of the contact form. Airtable, waiting for this message, will be waiting for what we call a webhook, right? That's a message through the internet from one tool to another, where the tool that we're using, Airtable, is actually waiting for the message to come. It's called a webhook. We're going to select that. Right? When we select this webhook received, you see that Airtable is giving us a URL here. The idea is that we're going to give this URL, which is kind of the mailbox of Airtable. We're going to give this URL to Webflow, telling Webflow when a user press submit, you should send a message to this URL so that Airtable receive the data of this user. To do so, to set up this webhook, we are going to click on the main button here of Webflow. And we're going to go to the dashboard of Webflow. From the dashboard, sorry, not the dashboard, I'm going to get back to our stunning site. Sorry, my bad. So it's not the dashboard, the site settings actually. So the settings for this website. We're going to go for app and integrations. In app and integration, if you scroll on the very bottom, you'll see a webhook section here where we can add webhooks. So we're going to add the webhook of Airtable just here. So here is for the URL, right? I'm going to paste the URL that Airtable gave us. And we're going to say that we send a message to this URL to Airtable when, trigger type, when our form is submitted. So I'm going to click on form submission. And I'm going to add the webhook. So now, if we come back to the website, or website, I'm going to click on my stunning website. And I'm going to publish it. Now, when a user actually writes name and address and click on submit, this message should be sent actually to Airtable, right? For Airtable to do something when the webhook is received. So what I'm going to do is we're going to test it out really. I'm going to refresh my page here to see the new contact us. I'm going to write Yann Klein, my email, and submit the message so that one message has been sent through this webhook already. So the message has been sent to Airtable through the webhook. Now it's time for us to do something when this message arrives. So first thing that we can do actually is to test whether the webhook or the message that I just sent arrived or not. And you see that on the right side at the very bottom, I have a test trigger here that I can click in order to see if a webhook has been received or not. It's taking a while, but now if I scroll down, you'll see that the step is successful. And if I open the data of my webhook, I see that I have inside the webhook a body. Inside the body, I have a payload. Inside the payload, I have a data. And inside the data, finally, I have my name and my email. So we did receive the information from the contact form to our webhook. Now it's time for us to do an action when we receive the data from the contact form. Let's click on Add Advanced Logical Action. And what we're going to do very simple. We're gonna create a record. See, there's so many things we can do, right? Even sending an email. It's pretty cool. So create a record. Create a record where on our student table, and we're gonna kind of match, the fields that we receive from Webflow, from our contact form, with the fields of our data in Airtable. So in choose field, we're gonna say that the name in Airtable should correspond to in the webhook to what I have in the body, what I have in the payload, what I have in the data, the name Yann Klein that I got from the contact form, as well as the email, right? In my contact form, sorry, the email of my Airtable should correspond from my contact contact form, sorry, to in the webhook hook again the data email this time that is coming from my contact form, right? So this matching has been done correctly, I believe. Time for us to save it. So you can see that here I can generate a preview that is going to create a a preview of what like the data would look like in my table. I'm not going to go for this. I'm going to right away actually turn this automation on, right, with the on-off button here. Very sweet. And we're going to get back to our data. In the data, as you can see, I do think that it, like setting up this automation created an empty line here. I'm going to remove it, right? In the data, I still have just Alex and Chanisara. What I'm going to do is to test whether this contact webhook actually work all together by going to my contact, refreshing the page, placing Yann Klein and my email and submit. I sent the data in the contact us, and if you check now in the Airtable, you can see that my name is showing up just here. So the webhook and the connection between Webflow and Airtable did work quite well. It's connected. Our data is in Airtable. So I think I see a question in the chat. Oh no, perfect. Nothing special. Don't hesitate if you have a question about Airtable to send them in the chat right now. We're gonna use Airtable once more for another feature that I want to show off. But if you have any question about Airtable, just shoot it. Airtable, the free version of Airtable is quite big. It's giving you a lot of functionalities. You see a trial 14 days here. It's not for the free version, it's for the pro version. So I'm enjoying the pro version for 14 days. Yeah, Airtable is quite a nice service, quite free actually. Okay, if you don't have any question, let's continue with Airtable. Now, the last thing I will want to do is that I would like to connect, not Webflow to Airtable, like not some data from Webflow to Airtable, but rather some data from Airtable, just like, for example, my list of students here, back to Webflow. And on Webflow, what I would like to do, I don't know if it makes so much sense, but I want to do that. I would like to actually, at the bottom of my page here, have a list. So I'm going to go back to design here. On the bottom of my pages here, I would like to have a list of all the students that have registered to the Wagon through the contact us, right? So something like they already registered. So you can see that my title here is not at the right place. I'm going to bring it out of my collection. Oops, you go out of the collection, please. Try to bring it here and then below the collection. Okay, perfect. And below that, I want to have like the list of all the students that have registered to the Wagon. So it's kind of the opposite thread, the other way around, from Airtable to Webflow. Now, the problem is that Airtable cannot, as is, send data to Webflow. And that's very typical when you're in no code. You have two services that you really love, but they don't communicate to each other. In those kind of cases, you need to use a middle person service that will connect them together. And this middle person service that I want to show off today is very, very famous. It's called Zapier. Zapier is this one service, no code service, that is actually connecting tons of different service, no code service on the internet. So you can see that the popular connection are like Gmail to Google Spreadsheet, Gmail to Google Docs, Facebook to Spreadsheets, and so on and so forth. And we are going to connect Airtable to Webflow using one of those connections of Zapier that are called dApps. So I'm going to create a new dApp here, which is very similar to the automation that we had before on Airtable, but this time the trigger is going to actually start from Airtable. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to select Airtable as our trigger, tool. And on Airtable, so you see that they already understood, like I already connected to my own Airtable, right? If you use Zapier for the first time, obviously you want to log in, and they will ask you at that very step to connect to the Airtable that you're actually using. So I'm connected to my Airtable. I'm going to select as a new event, like when a new record is created in my student table. And I'm going to select my account. It's already selected here. Pressing continue, they will tell me like, hey, what data are you interested to connect, or what spreadsheet, I would say, are you interested to connect with on Zapier? I'm going to refresh the results. It should show me. Oh, it doesn't show me the one I just created. Let me get back to here. If I come back to Airtable, I have my base Yann stunning data here. It's really the one I want. I am surprised that it's not showing here. So what I'm going to do is to get back to the first stage, and I'm gonna maybe try to reconnect to this account here. Okay, let's continue. And let's try to refresh here. Okay. It doesn't look like they are very happy about my base just here. Now, the good news is I did this like prepared this workshop before, and I was using this reference workshop table, which is very, very similar actually to the one, to the one that we created before, right? So this is the one that we're going to use this time because Zapier seemed to be a bit overwhelmed here. So I'm going to refer to this workshop. The table is going to be our students table, right? And I'm going to continue. So I can test this trigger and see if it's working okay. So this trigger basically listen to my table here, and whenever I have a new student showing up here, the trigger, like this process here, gets basically triggered. And you can see that after the test they've done, they show me that they could get 2 records. The first one is Mia. The second one is Ken, which are my 2 students here on Airtable. Now that the trigger is doing good, we're going to continue to the next step here, which is the action. This time we're going to have an action on Webflow, right? So this is Webflow. And on Webflow, I'm already connected to my own Webflow because I did it just before. What we're going to do is to create an item, right? We're going to create the item on our website. So here again, they don't want to me to create on the website that we just created. I'm not very sure why they are getting so tricky with us here. This a matter of refreshing things. maybe if we go for custom, yeah, not sure if that is going to help us so much. Static is definitely what we want, but this is not the one. Definitely have a second one here. Very, very interesting. It's very possible that I need to log in and out of the service. Um, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna connect it to this to the websites that I've been building. So this is the website I've built to prepare the workshop, so that I can show you like all the different steps. And what we're gonna do is to create an item in the students of this one website, right? Same thing here as before. We need to connect the name of the student to the Airtable name record that we got, the email that we're gonna connect it to, same the email. And for this time, we're gonna just forget about the course and the slug. I'm gonna continue. We can even test our zapier to make sure that it works, right? And we are going to publish it. Okay. When this app is published, obviously, as I used my reference workshop, I can't really show you that is working perfectly, but be sure that if I send a contact here, a new, for example, like Nick contact with nick@nick.com, this contact is going to be submitted to my, as we said, my Yann stunning data, right? Has some data just that should be coming here, right? And this data is if my DApp was working correctly, would actually be saved on my website, and it would look like, here is my reference website. It would look like this, right? This is my data that I prepared for you to prepare the workshop, right? Which should be corresponding to another collection. So as you can see here, I created a new student collection, and I have here all the students that have been actually created through the Contact Us form. Okay, so the last part of the workshop didn't work as I was expecting, but really the idea is that thanks to that, you'll be able to connect your webflow to Airtable and back and forth, but you'll be able to connect your tool as well to any other tool that you can connect with that. And they're using you can actually trade on very, very much a lot of tools. As we said, like pretty any tool, any website that you can imagine on the web, right? YouTube, Discord, and so on and so forth can be accessible with that. And that's going to give you so much power on your on the website that you're building without any line of code. So that's everything I wanted to show you. Just to conclude a little bit on this no-code approach, it's really, really cool. It has a lot of pros. So it's easy to use. You can work with people that have no skills about coding. It's going to be great for your life as a product manager or building a product. It has some cons. It has some limitations. We talked about it. It's costly sometimes. It has limitation in terms of complexity for your websites. It's not always super good to build a quite it's not good at building quality websites so much, not so good sometimes in terms of SEO and so on and so forth. But really, it's a very powerful tool to kickstart a business, I do believe. So that's about the workshop part of, the lecture part of the workshop. From that point on, what are we going to do together? I suggest us that we jump onto the link I sent you at the beginning of the workshop. In this link, so I do believe that you all have access to this page here. You'll see that there's 4 sections. The first section is the lecture. And as I told you, every single thing I showed you today is actually contained here in the lecture parts of this Learn platform. So all my slides are here. You can check them out. There's even a video going like through everything that I've been talking about today. There are takeaways as well as test your knowledge, which is like an area that is kind of summarizing all the knowledge that we've been talking about today. And finally, there is a U-turn part here. So the U-turn part here is a place where you're going to be able to test your knowledge of Webflow, and you're going to be able to design a website. So the website that we are suggesting in this challenge is an e-commerce platform. The idea that you'll be building an e-commerce platform with Webflow. Webflow has a e-commerce feature, and you'll see that they're going to show you how to add this feature as well as connect it to airtables and to integrate a Webflow form as well in Webflow. So this is a quite cool challenge to feel more comfortable and to try yourself on Webflow. Now, if you want to build the website that you've been designing last week on Webflow instead of this challenge, that's totally fine as well. So you can go either or, but try yourself, use the tool and see how it works. The last thing I would like to share with about this challenge here is that the interface, the e-commerce interface of Webflow has changed a little bit, right? Actually, the whole interface versus what we were explaining in this challenge. I would like to show you where you'll find the e-commerce capability on Webflow. Actually, now it's together with the CMS capability. If you click on this CMS, and I'm gonna do it on the example actually that I built before the challenge, before the workshop. Sorry. If I click on CMS here, you can see that there is a e-commerce area. So I think that in your case, if you click, the e-commerce is not on just yet. You need to turn it on, right? And click on, let's do this. And it's gonna create, see there's a bunch of steps here. You can close them for now, at least. And you'll be able to create a bunch of products automatically or not, right? You can create your own product, or you can create some sample product automatically from this interface. This is gonna create for you actually a collection, right? In the e-commerce here, it's gonna create a product collection, just like I have in here. Very similar as what we did for the students collection, right? But on the top of this collection, when you go to the design side of Webflow, you'll be able to add some new things. First off, you'll be able to add, if I write cart here, a cart. So I have one here, as well as an add cart button. On top of those 2 new elements, you also have in the pages some special product template pages that are representing the page, like, the details page of each product, in which you'll be able to embed a cart, right? This is the add to cart functionality here that I showed you before. So this is the add to cart, and this is the cart. When this is built and you have a nice page, if you try it, like press preview, you'll be able to add a certain product, add to cart, and you'll see your cart showing up here, and you being able to pay with Apple Pay or continue to check out, which are not working just now because it's kind of like more or less working. But this placeholder will not work because we didn't go through all the setups that I showed before when we enabled the e-commerce feature. Okay, just wanted to show you that so that you're not totally lost in this e-commerce part of the challenge. Now, if you have some last questions, I'm gonna look at it in the chat and answer them. And if you don't, we're gonna jump on breakout rooms. A bit on this, I'll be here to help you out if you have any troubles with these challenges.
Hey, Yan, just quickly, before we hop to the breakout room, because I think
Okay, so mostly making an account. Zapier is such a blessing. Absolutely. Okay. So not much like big questions. I'm gonna let you jump on your breakout rooms. Already quite late.
Yan, can you hear me
Very
now?
sorry for that.
Hello?
I'm going to
Oh,
maybe share my, I don't know what's the best place to do that. Share my contact if you are building your app uh, after this workshop and would like to ask some questions to me or to share it. It's probably something that we would do on Slack, I believe.
hello?
Yan.
Yan, can you hear us?
Oh, I don't
Uh,
think.
I think eh,
Aaron, I see you talking, but you might not be. Oh, oh, sorry, it's me. I was muted.
yes. Yeah, so we were saying, I was talking with Ado, before we send the students to the breakout room, we wanted them to fill out a quick feedback form. The reason is that some people might drop later. So while we have everyone, we wanted to, Ado, hold on, let me see, the feedback form, and I think there's one other thing, right, we wanted to share. So let me share the feedback form to you, everyone. Thank you so much, Yan, as well. Before we go to the breakout, I want to say thank you when everyone's here. And please make sure to fill out this feedback form, guys. And let's take a picture too, just before everyone leaves. So if you can turn on your camera, we always do this, Yan, every module. We should take a photo with everyone. And
Yeah, nice to see everyone's face.
yes. Okay, I think Mika is our designated photographer for the evening.
Yes, so I'm not a host, so I can't see everyone's
Oh,
face
let me make sure.
separately.
Ah, okay.
So, but it's okay if someone else can take the picture.
Hold on,
Oh, okay.
let me make you. Where's your? Okay, can you see?
Okay, I can see everyone now. Lovely. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone had a good session today. So, yeah, without further ado, let's take our picture. So, everyone, can you give me a wonderful smile in three, two, one? Oh, where go? Oh, no, it's
Oh,
gone.
oh shoot.
So sorry. I minimized my screen. Oops. All right. So, three, two, one. Mm. And another one. Three, two, one. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And so you have the feedback form, we have our photo. How about should we ask questions now, Jan? Or, if anyone has any questions, or should we go straight to the breakout room? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, um, good time to ask for questions. Don't hesitate. If
Okay.
anyone has any.
Yeah, guys, if anyone has questions, please make sure to please, feel free to use the microphone. I think it's a lot easier. And maybe while everyone's here, others can also get value from your questions. So please take it away if anyone has any questions.
Instead of using no code websites because they charge me monthly premiums, can't I just take like a template from GitHub and I credit the person who made it? Obviously, I understand that I will require a little bit of know-how, but it's not going to be that complex, right? It's, if I just want a template, I just change my names and stuff, and I won't have to pay any monthly premiums to any company. So wouldn't that be better?
I love your question. It's a very good question. So if I understand well your question, the idea is to like host your website, like use a GitHub repository and host your website on GitHub, right?
Yes.
You're absolutely right. It's very possible. Now, the website that you can host on GitHub are static, meaning that by themselves, unless you connect them with all other services, you're not going to be able to have a database, and you're not going to have be able to have a backend as well. So it's possible as long as you're okay with those limitations, I think. You could have imagine to connect them to like Airtable, for example, right? But that might that might need a little bit more coding knowledge to do. But once again, the idea of this no code is for us to to try to do the best with the list of money as well. And every there's no bad solution. There's just what's the word? Trade-offs.
Thank you.
I have one question, if no one else has it. So I'm thinking I want to build a website as well, and that website, in addition to, I know we looked at, getting names and email addresses, but I have an idea for like a Chrome extension, and I want to collect the data, various types of data from the user, like, what website they visited, how long were they on this website, and stuff like that. So for that sort of connectivity, like backend and database structure, would it be much more difficult, or could you also do something like that with a no code or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You could definitely do that with no code as well. I believe that you would connect your webflow to
Hmm.
an analytics tool. So the very typical one is Google Analytics. Another one that is pretty neat and doing a bit more for you is um, I, I hope that I'm not mistaken. It's Hotjar.
A jar.
Yeah, have you heard of it? It's
No,
quite
Yeah.
amazing of a tool. Yeah.
a jar. Okay.
So it goes really more into the
Oh,
behavior of
hot
a
jar.
of
I see it.
Hotjar, sorry, yeah, of your users,
Mhm.
and it enables you, for example, to know it says they're doing a heat map on your website, and they're
Mhm.
telling you where the users cursor, like
Oh,
where it clicked, what time it spent here or there. It's really really well done. So these are the kind of no code tool you could connect to your Webflow.
okay. Okay. Understood. Does anyone else have any questions for Yan? It's a good chance if anyone's interested in, becoming a web engineer or engineer of some sort or data analytics, some of the not necessarily product, we can also ask Yan.
In the comments, please read.
Oh yeah.
Where is it?
Is it yours, Annie? With no code, I feel like engineers can also design now. So if you were a designer, what coding knowledge would you learn? Um, okay. So as a designer, what knowledge would you learn? That's a good question. So let me just continue via. Like, so Jaden Bayer looks for designer with coding skills. Okay. I still feel lucky to be in Japan. I see. Um, yeah, that's a very good question. I believe that in in a web development flow, what you usually do is having a designer making the Figma, right? And this Figma is given to usually the front end developers to actually build the different elements from this Figma, like the front end elements. So I would say that the next step for a designer would be to rather on that side of things, so more front end than back end. And in a first as a first step in the like CSS slash like HTML CSS side of things, I would believe now it's a I guess it's a my feeling. Um, so like my point of view, which is one among many. Yeah, that's my answer so far.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I used to work in a sprint team and I would propose like crazy design ideas. And then the feedback from the engineer is like, are you sure it's compatible with our code? Did you use like Material UI? Are you sure it's like the components are responsive? and adaptable to like iOS versus Android.
Mhm.
So I feel like design system, especially, is like if designers can know the logic or framework behind design system, it works. It helps designers to work better with engineer, and also it helps like QA, so quality assurance engineer, when they test the feature. It also helps them to be more efficient as well. I wish I spent more time studying on design systems.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Okay. Uh,
Um,
yeah. Thank you so much, Yann. Do you have anything else you would like to say?
uh, yeah, a bit unrelated, but I built an Airtable for you that I'm sending right now
Okay.
on in the chat. It's kind of a repository of a bunch of like tool that I personally use for like front-end related topics. So like tools that are related to icons, images, background, color, some websites for example of design and so on and so forth. It's probably something a lot of resource you got in the last workshop, but I guess that's like never bad to share it. So you can have a look at it. And I use Airtable as well, so it's kind of linked to this workshop, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, we'd like to invite you to our end of camp party, which will happen on the 21st of Feb.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mika has sent the link to RSVP, but let me go find it again
Yeah.
if it's not there.
It's in the
Okay.
chat.
Yeah,
That's
perfect. It's
yeah, if you can
yeah, I
all
look forward to it.
register for it too, we'll be happy to welcome you there. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Yan. Please let's give a round of applause to Yan before we go to the breakout. Maybe 15 to 20 minutes, guys. I mean, if you can, maybe we'll pop around. Yan, is that okay for you? Maybe 15, 20
Yeah,
minutes.
sure, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Please. I know I speak too much, so you have extra minutes for free.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, so we have the breakout rooms open. Please let me know, guys, if you can. I think you should be able to join, and then we'll see you in the breakout rooms, and maybe you can ask Yan any questions or, think with your team on how you can apply this to, your website for your prototype or your MVP project. That'd be great. Okay. Okay, so you can head out. I will head. Ado, are you gonna be around, or are you gonna go to
Yeah, yeah. I'll stay a bit.
one of the rooms?
Cool. Shall I hop into each room? Does that work or
Yeah, feel free to do so. Yeah,
gotcha?
gonna hop around. Yeah,
Sweet, sweet. I'll take a 1 minute bio break and I'll be back.
of course. Yeah. Where's Annie? Ah,
Did she leave? Wait. Mm, yeah, I think Annie left. I think there's only one person in the smart speaker too. It's just um
should I
mhm.
stop recording?
Oh yeah, stop recording, I think.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
yeah, should be fine.
okay?